back, students. Standard 9th Maths, Chapter 5, Introduction to Euclid's Geometry, and we are into the 7th session now. Okay? Fine. In the previous session, we solved exercise 5.1, first 3 sums. Okay? Now we proceed further and solve 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Okay? One by one. Fine. So let's see what is the statement of your number 4. What is the statement of number 4? If a point C lies between 2 points A and B. So on a line there are 2 points A and B and C is between them. A और B के बीच कहीं भी, not exactly center, उसका मतलब ये नहीं है, between A and B, such that the point is such that AC equal to BC. AC equal to BC. Then prove that. Now, then, children, this is then. So you have to prove this. And ye if. Alright? Chaliye. We have to prove that AC is equal to half of AB. Explain with figure. So first I'll draw the figure. Okay? This is solution number 4. Fourth ka solution. Okay. Here I draw a line. Alright? On this there are 2 points A and B. A and B. And C. Point C is between. But बताया गया है AC equal to BC. मतलब exactly middle में. यहाँ से यहाँ AC equal to BC. दोनों equal है. That is given in the data. And we have to prove this AC is half of AB. This AC, that is this green part, is half of AB, that is this black part. Even this blue part, children, BC, will be half of AB. Alright, let's see how to prove. First, I am going to write data. Data. What is given? C is between A and B. आपको पूरा स्टेटमेंट नहीं लिखना है. You can write symbolically. See this. A dash, C dash, B. Such that, बोलो, AC equal to BC. This is given in the data. To prove क्या? AC is equal to half of AB. AC मतलब this green segment. और AB मतलब ब्लैक सेगमेंट ऑन द लाइन. ऑलराइट, चलो प्रूव करते हैं. प्रूफ A dash C dash B. A dash C dash B. How did you get this? ये कहां से आया? By data. And I'm going to call it result 1. Also, AC equal to BC. Let me call result 2. पहले रिजल्ट बता देते हैं. रिजल्ट 1 and a reason by data. दूसरा भी by data. Alright? चलिए. Betweenness याद करो. A dash C dash B. AC plus BC या CB is equal to AB by betweenness. By 1 जो betweenness बता रहा है. It follows that. बताइए. AC plus BC is equal to AB. AC plus BC is equal to AB. Children, ये right hand side का AB आ गया. Can you see that on right hand side? और left hand side में सिर्फ AC चाहिए. तो वो AC है. ये BC का क्या करें? What shall we do with that BC? अरे रिजल्ट 2 में देखो, BC is equal to AC. In place of BC, you can put AC. Yes, so I'm going to continue this. Therefore, AC रहेगा plus BC को ट्रांसफॉर्म करो AC में. AC is equal to right hand side AB. And this is by 2 में से by 2. What is AC plus AC? 2 times AC is equal to AB. transfer to another side. Therefore, AC is equal to AB by 2. नीचे गया, IE AC is equal to half of, you can write like this, 1/2, half of AB. Proved. See that? So ये वीडियो को पॉज करके ये कॉपी करना नोटबुक में. Alright? So we proved the first. See how it is done. Okay. This question is important for exam. Be careful. So we move on to number 5 now. What is number 5? In question O, yahi question mein, C is called midpoint. Children, AC equal to BC, then that point C between A and B is called midpoint of line segment AB. Prove that every line segment has one and only one midpoint. कोई भी लाइन सेगमेंट का एक ही मिड पॉइंट होता है, ऐसा आपको साबित करना है. You have to prove that. Okay, we can prove it, but again it will be little bit tough, not easy. थोड़ा लॉजिकल रीजनिंग चाहिए. मैंने बताया था कि नहीं कि लॉजिकल रीजनिंग की बहुत जरूरत पड़ेगी. ऑलराइट, यहां A, यहां B. चलिए मैं ये निकाल ही देता हूं. Alright, let me remove this. So line segment exactly in the middle, let's say there is point N. So what is given? Data में क्या दिया है? Data C. Okay, AB ले लेता हूं, यहां C ले लेता हूं. चलिए, C is midpoint of AB, that is data. C is midpoint of AB. This is given. To prove C is the only, C is one and only one midpoint of AB. इसका कोई और midpoint हो सकता नहीं है. Right? Proof. आप वैसे तो सोच सकते हैं AC equal to BC. ऐसा एक ही पॉइंट A और B के बिटवीन आएगा. There will be one and only one point between A and B such that AC equal to BC. But you cannot argue like that. So what will see? What will do? Suppose D is other mid. Okay, एक minute, children. Okay, suppose D is other midpoint of AB. चलिए, ये C नहीं है, कोई और पॉइंट है D, other midpoint of AB. Therefore, what you can say, just now we proved this both, is AD is equal to half of AB. Result 1. AD is equal to half of AB. Result 1. Am I right? Now, C is already the midpoint. C is midpoint of AB by data. Therefore, you can say AC. ये AC is equal to half of AB. चलिए, right hand side देखो, half of AB. So AD and AC are equal to same. So they are also equal. So by 1 and 2, it follows that AD equal to AC. Children, अभी कुछ समझना पड़ेगा आपको यहां. Please, you will have to understand something. Let's say here is point A. ये point A. तीन situation को बराबर समझो. Right. Here is C and here is D. So you can say AD is greater than AC. या AC, आप AC को लो. AC is smaller than AD. है कि नहीं? ये C और D, they are two distinct points. And what we are getting? AC is smaller than AD. Okay, I'll take distinct points. Now D here and C here. So now you can say AC is greater than AD. Greater than AD. Here AC is smaller than AD. AC is smaller than AD. Here AC is greater than AD. And in the third situation, C is here and D is also there. So here you can say AC equal to AD. AC is less than AD and AC is greater than AD. When they are unequal, those points C and D, those points CD are distinct. But if AC equal to AD, if both the segments are equal, then C is equal to D. Alright? अभी conversely, देखो ये दोनों पॉइंट एक A से सेम डायरेक्शन में है, C and D इसी डायरेक्शन में है, C and D A से एक ही डायरेक्शन में है. Both C and D lie in the same direction. If AC is less than AD, then you can say C and D are distinct. If AC is greater than AD, then you can say C and D are distinct points. But in the same direction, AC equal to AD, then you can say C and D are equal. Equal points. Are you getting me? They are equal points. देखो वही चीज है. यहां क्या आया? A से C ये और A से D ये, they are equal. A की ये डायरेक्शन में AC equal to AD. So what can you say about these 2 points C and D? Equal. Therefore, C is equal to D. C is equal to D. Point C और point D equal होंगे. C और D equal होंगे. Do you understand? देखो, if the two segments are unequal, less या greater, then the 2 points are distinct. But the two distances are equal in the same direction, then those points are same. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? C is the midpoint. हमने कहा D कोई दूसरा midpoint है, लेकिन D कोई अलग point होने वाला नहीं है. It is going to coincide with C. Excuse me. आप बोलोगे E is the other midpoint, तो EB यही आएगा. और ले लो F यही आएगा. हजारों पॉइंट्स ले लो, it will coincide with C. उसका मतलब क्या हुआ? C is the only midpoint. Therefore, C is one and only one midpoint of AB. Prove. Is that clear to you? I hope you have followed. Okay? Check. Now we move to number 6. Okay, the 6th one. In figure below, actually the figure is what? Let me tell you. This is the figure. A dash okay, B dash C dash D. Okay. This is the figure. Alright, let's see. In figure below, this is the figure. AC, अब देख लो, where is AC? A और C के बीच. This is equal to, AC is equal to BD. B और D के बीच का distance. These two are equal. Then prove that AB, then prove that this part is equal to this part, CD. AB equal to CD. Okay, data में क्या है? A dash, B dash, C dash, D, क्योंकि फिगर में है A dash, B dash, C dash, D. और क्या है? AC equal to BD. और to prove, क्या प्रूव करना है? AB is equal to CD. Proof. Very easy. चलिए I'll start with this, children. I'll start with this. AC equal to BD. क्योंकि ये है दिया है डेटा में. I'll use this later. Red part is equal to this green part. AC equal to BD. वो कहां से आया? By data. So write by data. Now use betweenness. A और C के between B है. So instead of AC you can say AB plus BC. Therefore AB plus BC is equal to. Now BD. B यहाँ D यहाँ. बीच में पॉइंट है. So BD is BC plus CD. BC plus CD. BC, BC, it will cancel on opposite side. Take BC on other side. हाँ. By, okay. इसको कह दूं 1. Okay. By data लिखा है. Because, I'll use this. Because A dash, B dash, C dash, D. How could you write AC is AB plus BC? And how could you write BD is BC plus CD? Because of this, AB plus BC, BC plus CD. Alright? Chaliye. BC cancel opposite side पे same quantity. So you got AB is equal to CD. AB is equal to CD. Proved. I hope you understood. Alright. Now let's see the last statement. We'll have to just discuss it. Children, what is the statement? Y is axiom 5 in the list of Euclid's axiom considered as universal truth. In fact, all axioms are considered as universal truth. But they are asking you particularly about axiom 5 of Euclid. And what is axiom 5 of Euclid? The whole is always greater than a part. पूरा एक चीज उसके पार्ट से हमेशा बड़ा होता है. Yes. Why? Why, children? Why? Can you tell me? Now, this statement is not only true for maths, but in every walk of life. अब बताओ चलो 10 is equal to 7 plus 3 मैथ्स में 10 is equal to 7 plus 3 मतलब this whole इसको बोलेंगे whole is divided into two part 1 and part 2 10 का दो पार्ट्स बना दिए 7 और 3 now you can say 10 is greater than 7 obvious 10 is greater than 3 obvious. So whole is greater than part 1. Whole is greater than part 2. If I take more, 10 is equal to 5 plus 3 plus 2. इसको part 1 बोलो, इसको part 2 बोलो, इसको part 3 बोलो. And this is whole. So whole is greater than part 1. Whole is greater than part 2. Whole is greater than part 3. So whole is always greater than its part. Maths में आपने देखा. Now let's talk about this flat in which I'm living. Okay? ये flat है. It has got 3 rooms. It has got 3 rooms. So a room is a part of the whole house here. Room is a part of the whole house. And a house, the whole house is always bigger than room. Are you getting me? Sure? 100%? Okay. Say suppose you have a pot of water, a pot full of water. From that you take a glass of water. That pot of water, whole water is always greater than the water in the glass. Is that clear? So, I'll write now. In maths, whole is always greater than a part. Example, if 10 is equal to 7 plus 3, then 10 is greater than 7 and 10 is greater than 3. अब ऐसा नहीं कहना है, कैसे कह दो? If a is equal to x plus y, then A is equal to part 1 plus part 2, then A is greater than part 1 and B is greater than part, A is greater than part 1 and A is greater than part 2. Alright? I'll have to erase this part to write. So maths में तो वो सही है, part is always greater than whole, correct? Now this Euclid's axiom, now Euclid's axiom 5 is not only true for maths, but it is applicable to every field of life, i.e. a house is always bigger than its room. A country is always bigger than its state. We live in India and our state is Gujarat. Which is bigger? India is bigger or Gujarat is bigger? Yes, Gujarat is a part of country. Gujarat state is a part of India. So India is always greater than Gujarat. Like that you can give number of examples. Okay. Thus Euclid's axiom 5 is universal truth. Alright? वो तो ये statement है. Alright? Sorry. This is solution. It starts from here. Alright? And this is how you can copy in your notebook. I hope you have understood. After the conclusion of exercise 5.1, we proceed further in the chapter and we are into the concluding part of the chapter. Alright? Now we are going to see equivalent versions of Euclid's fifth postulate. Alright? See, these days you see so many cars of similar models. It is difficult to identify if it is Tata car or Hyundai car or Maruti car, because all the cars look similar. They are not same, but they look similar. Okay? From front or from side or from back, they look similar. So cars are of different companies, but their shapes are similar. Like that, equivalent versions. Here the cars are equivalent. 3 अलग-अलग कंपनी की cars equivalent है, एक समान है. उसी तरह यहाँ equivalent versions of Euclid's fifth postulate. Euclid gave fifth postulate. उसका fifth postulate को पहले याद करना पड़ेगा. What was the fifth postulate? If a line falls on two distinct lines, देख लीजिए. This is one line. This is other line. And a line falling on it. If a line falls on it, this is third line. This line, let's say T, transversal, falls on this two line. And this is a pair of interior angles on the same side of transversal. Alright? If the whole, matlab the sum, whole, or you can say the sum of two angles, interior angles on the same side of transversal, is less than two right angles. Less than two right angles means 90 plus 90, that means 180. Correct? So if this pair of interior angles on the same side of transversal is chosen, and if they are taken together and whole is less than two right angles, means less than 180, then if you produce these lines, they will meet somewhere. if you produce this line, they meet. If you produce these two lines in that side, on that side, then they will meet. This is Euclid's fifth postulate, which means if the interior angles on the same side of transversal is greater than two right angles, greater than 180, then these lines will never meet, you can imagine. Alright? And if it is exactly equal to 180, if these two lines are exactly equal to, interior angles on the same side of transversal, ये दोनों का total 180 हो, equal to 180, then also the two lines will never meet, either on this side or this side. If it is less than two right angles, on other side it will be more than two right angles. If on this side it is exactly 180, then on other side also the sum of interior angles would be exactly 180. So less than two right angles, if lines are produced in that direction, they will meet. More than 180, that means more than two right angles, and if you produce the lines in that on that side, they will not meet. Equal to 180, equal to 180. Produce on both the sides, they will not meet. That means the lines are parallel in this case. So if interior angles on the same side of transversal, when taken together, and if the whole, sum is equal to two right angles, then those two lines are parallel. So here Euclid talks about two parallel lines. Euclid says when the two lines are parallel. आप दो distinct line ले लो, drop one line on it, let other line fall on it, and then see the pair of interior angles on the same side of transversal. If they are taken together, the sum of these interior angles on the same side of transversal is exactly equal to 180. That means two right angles. Then the two lines are going to be parallel. So that was Euclid's fifth postulate. Now let's talk about a postulate or axiom which is equivalent to Euclid's fifth postulate. Now this postulate, axiom, was given by Playfair. So it came to be known as Playfair's axiom. It came to be known as Playfair's axiom. Now what Euclid said, if a line falls on two distinct lines such that interior angles on the same side of transversal, when taken together, the whole is less than two right angles, then the lines produced on that direction will meet each other. That is what Euclid said. And if it is exactly 180, two right angles, then the lines will never meet on both sides. So that means the lines are parallel. If it is more than 180, that means two right angles, then they will never meet on that side, but they will meet on the other side. Alright. Now what is Playfair's axiom? What he said. As we have seen, Euclid talks about parallel lines. If the axiom is equivalent, then it should also talk about parallel lines. And it does. Here is one line L. Alright? And one point P outside line L. Now tell me how many lines will pass through point P? 1, 2, 3, 4. बताइए, infinite lines. This line also, it passes through P. But out of infinite lines passing through point P outside line L, how many lines will be parallel to L? In infinite line में से कितनी line L को parallel हो सकती है? One and only one. Correct? And that is Playfair's axiom. क्या बताता है? There exists a line. There exists a unique line. There exists a unique line passing through, ये वाली line, passing through, ये वाला point, passing through a point. कहाँ है point? Outside a given line. Outside a given line and parallel to it This is Playfair's axiom. Okay. Now look at these two lines, L and M. How are these two distinct lines? Yes, they are intersecting. Alright. Now, can there be a single line which is parallel to both? Okay, let's try. L को ये parallel है. Line N is parallel, N1 is parallel to L. N2 is parallel to L. N3 is parallel to L. N4 is parallel to L. So I have taken these lines which are parallel to L, but they are not parallel to M. देखो, it intersects M also. इसको extend करेंगे. So that line M will intersect all the lines which are parallel to L. Okay? इसके बाद, चलो, this is line M. This line is parallel to M. Let's say T1. This line is parallel to M, but it will never be parallel to N. इसको parallel नहीं होगा. In fact, it will intersect. So that is another postulate. It's not given by Playfair. Playfair's postulate is this. Who has given the axiom or that postulate is not given. Name is not given. But other postulate, I'll say. Other postulate. And what is that? Two distinct intersecting lines cannot be parallel to same line. Two distinct intersecting lines. Now you can see that those two green lines, they are distinct intersecting, but both the lines cannot be parallel to the same line. All these red lines are parallel to L, but they are not parallel to M. The blue lines are parallel to M, but they are not parallel to L. So, same line cannot be parallel to two distinct intersecting lines. Two distinct intersecting lines cannot be parallel to same line. So, this is another postulate equivalent to Euclid's fifth postulate. All these three postulates talk about parallel lines. So, they are equivalent. Is that clear? They mean the same. They have same meaning. Only the words expressed there are different. Okay. Alright children, then let's see illustration 3. That is the last illustration of the chapter. And we are moving to conclusion of this chapter as well. Okay. Let's see the statement. Consider the following statement. And what is the statement? There exists a pair of straight lines that are everywhere equidistant from one another. क्या कह रहा है statement? कि ऐसी एक जोड़ी मिलेगी straight lines की. You get a pair of straight lines that the distance between them, that perpendicular distance between them remains the same. If you take the lines like this distance, okay, यहां से आप perpendicular ऐसे draw करते जाओ, यहां perpendicular draw करो, ऐसे. So this distance are not equal. In this case, the distances are equal. Alright. Now, this is what you have to show. Is this statement a direct consequence of Euclid's fifth postulate? If you see, the pair of lines I had drawn were parallel. And Euclid's fifth postulate also tells about parallel lines. So this statement has consequence, direct consequence with Euclid's fifth postulate. Alright? Chaliye. Abhi Playfair's axiom. What is Playfair's axiom? There is one line, L, and a point, let's say A, outside. then there exists one and only one line, M, that passes through A and parallel to L. Here, L is parallel to M, according to Mayfaire's axiom. And Mayfaire's axiom is Euclid's fifth postulate as well. Euclid's fifth postulate as well. It has direct connection with that. Correct? Now, consider any point on M and drop perpendicular to L. Consider another point on M. Drop perpendicular to L. This distance remains the same. Let's do the reverse. Take any point on L and draw perpendicular to M. Take another point on L. Drop perpendicular to M. Still all this distance remain the same. So here it is. There exists a pair of lines, straight lines, that are everywhere, anywhere you take, everywhere, equidistant from one another. These lines are equidistant from one another. Now the question is this statement has direct consequence of Euclid's fifth postulate? Yes. Yes, you write down after this. You write Mayfaire's axiom, the statement, the figure, and say, yes, this statement is a direct consequence of Euclid's fifth possibility. And here is what you have explained. Is that clear to you? Okay. Now, what I am going to do now, all right? All the maths teachers, when they start this chapter, would do first. And that is correct too. But I am doing it differently. What I should be telling you or discussing you in the first lecture or in the first session, I am doing it in the last session. Alright? And what is that? Geometry. Geo means geography. And a metry comes from word metrine. Alright? It comes from the word metrine. Geography is earth. And a metrine means to measure. So measuring earth is geometry. Children, 3000 BC. 3000 BC. In Babylon, okay? In Babylon was actually Egypt that we have today, Syria and Iraq. They together was known as Babylon. That the whole country was known as Babylon. Alright, not only Babylon, China, India, Greece, alright, China, India, Greece, and one more place, and that is Egypt, alright. All these places, they had become popular in those days. Why? Well, most of the people lived on the banks of river. For which purpose? Yes, farming, agriculture. Because the river banks are fertile and there is plenty of water for irrigation. Correct? So, most of the human civilizations settled on the banks of rivers in those days. And even today. Alright? Well, so quite often in the monsoon there were floods, and the floods were severe, washing out the land. Alright? So after the floods is over, right, the people were unable to identify the piece of land that belonged to them. So there was lot of difficulty कि ये फील्ड किसका था और क्योंकि सब फील्ड मर्ज हो जाते थे after the floods. Those band walls is washed out. सो पूरा प्लेन हो जाता था। अब किसका फील्ड, कौन सा फील्ड किसका है, वो डिटेक्ट करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता था। सो देयर वाज अ नीड टू मेजर द लैंड। लैंड को मेजर करना बहुत जरूरी था, सो दैट इवन आफ्टर द फ्लड्स they can exactly measure it again and get the field belonging to a person, right? जिसका field है उसे मिल जाए उसी measurement से। So they started measuring. Yeah, these were the countries. First Egypt, then Greece, Babylon, China, India, all together simultaneously. You understand? Yes, sir. Why they became popular? Because in these 5 places or countries, they got a technique to measure land. Okay? And they started developing the technique, tools. That is measuring act. So, that new technique, the new concept that developed is geography metry, means geometry. So that developed. Okay. Few mathematicians that were very popular, Thales, Pythagoras, Heron, and Euclid. Alright? They had become very popular in those days. And what they did? They measured earth. They developed technique. Alright? Okay. Now try to understand. Thales from Greece, Pythagoras from Greece, Heron from Greece, and Euclid. They were from Greece. There were many mathematicians. Aryabhat from India. Yes, from China. Alright? But India and Greece, these 2 places were very popular for the work done by their mathematicians. Alright. Now, Thales, okay, let's say this is one family. Try to understand. Okay, all mathematicians, not only this 4, all the mathematicians who were working on this geometry, let us consider as one family. Now, a child, a son of a family comes home with school bag. He will drop one bag there at one place, shoes at some other place. Alright, then he will remove his clothes, change his clothes, and the school uniform he will drop at some other place. Same way, a daughter comes, she does that. Father comes, he will keep his bag at one place, clothes at other place, alright, the laptop at other place, alright. But in the house, there is mother, alright. She will keep all the things at the right place. Keeping all the things at the right place is organizing things. It is organizing things. Except Euclid, all other mathematicians were like son, daughter, and father. They discovered, they invented things, but they did not place it in order. कुछ यहाँ था, कुछ वहाँ था, कुछ उधर था, right? लेकिन यूक्लिड्स ने, सारे मैथमेटिशियंस ने दिए postulates या axioms या theorems को या definitions को very well organize किया. And when he organized, he said, he called it as treatise. He called that book as treatise or elements. Alright? उसने बड़ी book बनाई, सबको organize करके. And what was that called? Treatise. Alright? Or elements. और इसके अंदर 13 chapters थे. There were 13 chapters. Alright? That's why Euclid, this is called Euclidian Geometry. Why? क्योंकि पूरी geometry Euclid ने organize करके पूरे दुनिया को दी. He is also known as father of geometry. क्योंकि पूरा सबने काम किया लेकिन वो unorganized था, किसी को पता नहीं था. लेकिन यूक्लिड ने सारे मैथमेटिशियन तो काम को इकट्ठा करके एक बनाया और दुनिया को दिया. So Euclid is also known as father of geometry, and that's why this geometry developed is known as Euclid's geometry. It's known as यूक्लिड्स ज्योमेट्री। तो यूक्लिड कितना महान था, उसके नाम पे दे दिया यूक्लिड्स ज्योमेट्री। ऑलराइट, चल, ऑलराइट, लेट मी टेक दिस सेंटर and here is the circle. All right, this is its center. Okay, now children, observe one thing. I am taking one part of a circle from A to B. A से B का एक मैं पार्ट ले रहा हूं इस सर्कल का। Does it look straight? No, it is curved. चलिए, I'm going to select another part of the same circle. All right, जो इससे छोटा हो, CD. I have chosen this part, CD. Does it look straight? No, still it is curved. I'll take still smaller part. बहुत ही छोटा पार्ट ले लेता हूं, PQ. Does it look straight? Yes. So when we have a huge part like Earth, let's consider this as Earth, and उसका एक छोटा सा पार्ट ले लो, तो बहुत बड़ा है, ये छोटा सा पार्ट लो, so it's going to be flat. It's going to be flat. It's going to be a plane. You can't see that curve. See, we are living on the earth and we find the earth flat. This is the reason, because the part on which we live and what we see is a very small part of the whole earth surface. So that surface for us appears flat, though the whole earth surface is spherical or curved. The whole earth surface is spherical or curved. पूरा earth surface की बात करेंगे तो वो curved है, spherical है, लेकिन the part on which we live or the part which is visible to us, हम आसपास देखते हैं, so that part is very small part of the whole earth surface and that's why it looks flat. Do you understand? अब आपने ज्योग्राफी में ये स्टडी किया. What is this? Equator. Correct? A horizontal line passing through the center of the earth is called equator. That is imaginary line. This is North Pole and this one is South Pole. Yes. And on one side there are this spherical lines. They all meet at North Pole and South Pole. Right? ऐसे spherical lines है. What are these called? Longitudes. Longitudes. Though they are imaginary lines, let's consider them. Now look here. These two lines at the equator are perpendicular to each other and I am taking a small part of it. ये पूरा कर्व लाइन का छोटा पार्ट ले रहा हूं, तो वो तो स्ट्रेट लाइन दिखते हैं मुझे. They appear straight line. Correct? So they are perpendicular. And since they are perpendicular, they are parallel. So according to Euclid, these parallel lines will never meet each other. They will never meet each other. लेकिन आप देखो, इसको आगे बढ़ाओ, आगे बढ़ाओ, आगे बढ़ाओ, आगे बढ़ाओ. They meet at the pole. So Euclid जो बता रहा था, two parallel lines never meet each other, यहाँ concept बदल गया. Two parallel lines meet at very far distance, at infinite distance. Are you getting me? So जो Euclid का concept था, postulate 5 था, कि two straight lines will never meet each other. ये कुछ नई ज्योमेट्री आई और इसको कहते हैं नॉन यूक्लिडियन ज्योमेट्री. नॉन यूक्लिडियन ज्योमेट्री. और नॉन यूक्लिडियन ज्योमेट्री में कर्व्ड लाइंस की बात है. कर्व्ड लाइंस, कर्व्ड सरफेस की बात है. कर्व्ड बोलो या स्फेरिकल बोलो. So that's why non-Euclidean geometry is also called spherical geometry. Okay? Spherical geometry. और जिसने भी यूक्लिड का नहीं है ये सोच कोई और मैथमेटिशियन का है. So जिसका भी ये थॉट है one who thought about non-Euclidian geometry or spherical geometry, that is considered to be the greatest in the history of thought by mathematician or scientist. मैथमेटिशियन और साइंटिस्ट ने बहुत कुछ सोचा है, लेकिन ये जो सोच है, जो जिसने भी सोचा, it is considered to be the greatest in the history. All right, okay. So हम कह रहे थे Euclid is father of geometry. All right, yes, that's why we called Euclidian geometry. But beyond Euclidian geometry, there is another geometry which is called non-Euclidian geometry or spherical geometry. All right, children. So here we end up the session and also the chapter. All right. So next time when we meet, we will come up with new chapter. But before that, there will be test of this chapter. All right. I'll declare the date soon. Okay. You have to be well prepared. It will be at least next Monday, not this Monday. Or okay, today is Saturday, right? So next Saturday will be your test of this chapter. Next Saturday. All right. I'll brief you and put a notice on the WhatsApp. Okay. Fine. So we'll meet with the new chapter in the new session. Till then, you prepare this chapter for the test on coming Saturday. Not today, next Saturday. All right. So